The green crowd is going to love this one, but a lot of businesses may not. The White House just unveiling new regulation intended to slash carbon emissions in the U.S. by up to 28% over the next 10 years. So, Sabrina, what would these new regs do to the economy?
Well, it would undoubtedly hurt the economy by driving up costs for Americans at home and as well as for businesses. Look, this is not the first time that the EPA has suggested that they could do something like this without driving up costs, but they're wrong. You'll remember the Clean Power Plan, which we found from an independent research association said was going to be 7 times more expensive than the EPA wanted people to believe. So this would definitely be a slap in the face to the economy.
And we got those lousy job numbers on Friday. A lot of that has to do with loss of jobs in the energy sector.
Well, I think that I think go bold and go big here. I mean, we always hear that this is going to kill jobs and it's going to do this, and maybe the jobs report wasn't so great, but we're still creating jobs, and we have for months and months now. I just don't see it.
Well, I think you can take out the word maybe. The jobs report was awful on Friday. And EMAC, look at what's happened to coal stocks, by the way, since the president has come in. The three coal companies, Arch Coal, Alpha, Walter, down over 90% since 2009.
And here's why. This is what EPA Chief Gina McCarthy said about these new rules. She said, if you add up what we'll avoid between now and 2030, it's more than double the carbon pollution from every power plant in America in 2012. So that puts it in perspective. She also said it would be the equivalent of canceling out 2/3 of all the cars and trucks on the road. There's your economic impact.
So, John, is this going to hurt the economy or not?
Well, of course it's going to hurt the economy, but that's precisely why it's not going to happen. Let's repeat this. The Obama administration is over with. It's been over with since the end of 2012, and so no future president or Congress is going to abide such a lousy deal. Markets realize that, and that's why they're rallying. No one takes this seriously.
Steve, I don't know. I think with the executive action stuff going on, there's a lot that can be done in the next 2 years.
Yes, there is, and even though you can undo it after 2 years, in 2 years you can do a lot of harm. This is part of Obama's war against prosperity. Putting on these extra costs on the economy is going to slow it down. And we're the one big country in the world where emissions have gone down.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
And Bill, the overall economy, how many times have we finally begun to get back on our feet only to slip again like we did on Friday?
Okay, we might slip, but this is going to boost the economy if you make the mistake of counting only GDP, not whether we're better off. World War II boosted GDP because it kept people busy building bombs. The war on carbon is going to keep people busy tearing down power plants and building windmills.
You have managed, Bill, to unite everybody. I think even Bruce and Steve agree on this one.
No, it's not going to make us better off. That's what matters. It's not going to help.
History lesson, Bill, about World War II. We're making bombs. You couldn't buy cars. You were restricted on food, restricted on shoes, restricted on clothes. So you got pieces of paper but nothing to buy it with, and killing millions of people around the world. Thank you. I think there's a better way to rev up the economy.
Sabrina, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. This is sort of a failed ideology, but I absolutely think that there could be a lot of damage still done in the next 2 years. This is an administration who sort of is wedded to the idea of regulations, whether we're talking about health care mandates or workplace mandates or EPA regulations, and every single time it hurts the economy, it hurts American families, it hurts businesses, and for what? We might say, hey, is it justifiable if we're going to help the earth and preserve the environment? But the fact is, if you look at the numbers, we're going to see maybe an 18,000th of a change in temperature in the next 100 years, so it's going to have no environmental impact.
Bruce, do you think that the president cares enough about it and is appealing to his base enough so that he might find some executive action to get this rammed through?
I don't think so. I think this is more of a way to get some other countries and more of a global play here. But I do think that jobs, some of these states in the United States need to look at this and say it's not going away, and diversify their workforce and diversify away from coal, even if it's a small amount. And I don't think that's a bad thing.
Well, and John, it is true that companies on their own were diversifying away from coal, or at least the dirty coal, right?
Yeah, it was going to happen on its own as is. Government intervention in the economy is always going to slow it. And, beyond that, this World War II notion, the idea that ended the Great Depression or boosted the economy is easily the biggest indictment of the economics profession. It's not true.
Bill wants to jump in.
I want to make it clear that I kind of agree with Steve. I don't think World War II made people better off. No, they couldn't live well, and I don't think the war on carbon is going to make people better off. It will keep them busy tearing down power plants.
What do you think, Eva?
Listen, here's the way I think the EPA could get to that 28% cap. Cap all the gaseous rhetoric coming out of Congress over this rule, and why not cap all the federal building emissions as well?
All right, we're going to leave it at that. The Cash It In Gang getting ready to roll at the bottom of the hour. Eric, what do you got?
Hey, David, a firestorm over freedom of religion laws for businesses. Is this new culture clash taking away the rights of business owners? And if you think letting illegals stay is a crime, wait till you hear this. We may be teaching illegals how to unionize when they arrive. See you at the bottom of the hour.
We'll be watching, Eric. Thank you. But up here coming next, California taking drastic steps to cope with its water crisis. But one big group left out of that drastic plan may be proving crony capitalism needs to be dried up. We'll explain. It's going to make you mad. Stay tuned.